fresh blueberries are one of the highest fruits in antioxidants. Welcome to Naturally Gourmet. I'm Karen Houghton, and joining me is Dr. Wes Youngberg.
Welcome.
And my daughter-in-law, Sandra Houghton. We're going to be doing some ethnic foods today, a pesto pizza, and some fajitas, and some Mediterranean food, pita bread, with tzatziki on top, and it's going to be loaded with vegetables. Really tasty foods and fun foods. So we're going to start with our pesto pizza, and we've made a homemade pizza crust, and we've got some whole grains in this crust, and we added a little bit of Italian seasoning to it, and we're just going to press this out in the pan like this. And I'm going to ask Sandra if she would go ahead and finish doing this crust while I move on over and do the pesto sauce.
That crust is not only more tasty, but it's also more filling, more satisfying.
Yes, it is. It's got more fiber in it than your traditional pizza crust. Okay, our pesto sauce is made with a half a cup of pine nuts. And you know, most pesto sauces are made with pine nuts, but I just want you to know that you can use walnuts as well. And if you're on a budget, walnuts are a whole lot cheaper than pine nuts are. It tastes just the same. You'll never know the difference, no matter which nut you use. But this time we're going to use the pine nuts, so we'll add that to our blender. See if you can get that off for me, Dr. Young.
Either way, that's going to provide a lot of healthy fat and healthy protein to, again, give a sense of satisfaction to
That's
pizza.
right. You're going to feel good and full when you're done with this. Now a third cup of olive oil, and olive oil is so good for you and loaded with antioxidants.
Good for memory.
Good
for the brain in general.
Okay, we're just about to a third of a cup of the olive oil. The extra virgin olive oil is what we use here. Get that into the blender. And then 1 to 2 cloves of garlic. There's that good garlic. Can't get away from the garlic. Love garlic.
You know, that extra virgin olive oil is what actually gives you all those healthy ingredients. So it's the first cold press of the olive that has all those natural ingredients that are good for the brain and the heart, and increase the HDL cholesterol, lower the risk of heart disease.
I'm just going to cut these up a little bit. Although in a Vitamix, you don't even have to cut them up. I don't know what kind of blender you have. Vitamix will just pulverize things like that. So it's really a nice blender to have. Okay, and then a half a teaspoon of salt. Let's get our salt in there. All right, and 2 cups of fresh basil. Basil, oh, it smells so good in the kitchen. And I just went down and picked a bunch of basil this morning out of my garden. You can grow basil just about anywhere. Just stick a few plants in the ground, and boy, you've got it. And you can freeze dry it too, or dehydrate it, and you can have it all year long.
What is basil high in?
Basil is very high in vitamin K. And Dr. Youngberg, tell us what vitamin K is good for.
You know, anytime you have deep green leafy vegetables, that's the most important food for our diet. So we should have it every day. Vitamin K is going to be good for preventing calcium buildup in your arteries. Make sure that calcium gets into your bones where it's supposed to be, so it's good for osteoporosis. And it has high calcium as well. So it has the vitamin K that gets the calcium into the bones, not into the heart or the tendons where we don't want them to be.
It's a great tasting medicine too.
Oh yeah, it's a good tasting medicine.
It smells awesome.
Oh, it smells awesome. It even has vitamin A in it too. So it's just packed with nutrition. So now I'm going to put this blender on and let it roll until everything is very well blended. Okay, and I'm going to need my scraper too to get it. Okay, so I'm going to put this on, start it on low and then crank it up to high. got our pesto sauce all done.
It's nice and bright green.
Bright green. Now we're going to take this finished pizza crust, and what I do is I make a pizza crust and then I partially bake it about 15 minutes in a 375 oven, and so it's partially brown already. And then I add the fresh pesto sauce and spread this over the crust.
Well, just that crust alone would be a tasty meal.
Oh, it is. Tell you, when this is baking in the oven, your neighbors are going to want to come over and join you. It just smells so good.
Dr. Younger, what is the benefits of eating a pizza that's like this and much healthier than the regular
Yeah,
pizzas?
there's a myth in the nutritional world that there's no good or bad food. Anything in moderation is okay. That's kind of like saying there's no good and bad habit. It's pretty ridiculous. This is an excellent example of taking something that normally the average pizza is going to be high in saturated fat, all kinds of artery clogging fat, bad for your heart, bad for inflammation, bad for arthritis, and it turns it into a food that's actually good for everything. And it's also really tasty. And that's the key. We want to make sure that we're eating healthy food, but it's really tasty. And that's one thing that Karen's done in her recipes. I'm really going to enjoy this food.
Okay, now we're just going to add some fresh sliced tomatoes to the top of this. And I think I'm going to have Sandra go ahead and finish slicing these while I start putting the other toppings on.
Okay.
We'll add some fresh onions to this. I've always liked onions on my pizza. And then we're going to add some olives. We put some black olives on. And we're going to add some green olives. I love the natural green olives. They're so tasty. And we've got the green natural olives here. Getting a little more color on this pizza as we go. If you like olives, like me, I put a lot of olives on my pizza, but I just love them. And then going to add some artichoke hearts. Just sliced some of those up and put a few on top of this as well.
So almost everything that you're putting on here has some natural fiber in it.
Yes, it does. There's fiber in the crust, and then fiber in just about everything else we're putting on this pizza. And now we'll just top it with a few tomato slices. And we're just about ready to put this in the oven.
One of the reasons that regular pizza can be bad for our health is that it really isn't packed in the nutrition that this is. And when you don't get nutrients in your food, you tend to overeat.
Yes.
When you eat this way, you're not going to overeat.
No, and there's no cholesterol in this pizza. As you know, most pizzas are just loaded in saturated fat. They're loaded with cholesterol from all the heavy cheese that's put on the pizza. There's no cheese on this pizza, and so you don't even have to worry about it. You can eat this pizza and enjoy it and love the flavors that are in it, and it's not hurting you in any way. It's actually healthy for you. So I hope you'll try this, and don't go away because we're coming right back.
Karen Houghton, host of the TV series Naturally Gourmet, has developed a wonderful cookbook from her years of experience preparing tasty and healthy meals from a plant-based diet. In her cookbook Naturally Gourmet, Karen features a wide variety of recipes, from baked breads to sumptuous soups, from excellent entrees to delightful desserts.
I'm Karen Houghton, and if you've been enjoying these programs, I want to tell you about our new website, www.naturallygourmet.com. At that website, we have available DVDs, full set of them from all these cooking shows. We also have available a cookbook called Naturally Gourmet with more recipes and more health information.
Order Naturally Gourmet today for only $24.99 plus shipping and handling at naturallygourmet.com or call 760-723-8082. That's 760-723-8082. Your adventure into healthy living is only a phone call away.